Being an officer in this day and age isn't easy. They have to be ready for the unexpected. Call-outs though don't always go the way they think they will, and in some cases officers have been left wanting answers for what they just encountered. People posted some questions online, asking officers to detail the strangest call-outs they responded to. One person said the following: "My dad was a cop and I've never forgotten this story he told me. My dad was always someone who was straight to the point, was never one to make up stories and always told the truth. He said that the station got a call and was asked to investigate an old home in the woods, saying that a woman was very shaken as she thought that someone had broken in. My dad though said it didn't bother him, and these sorts of calls often came in. He told the woman to stay upstairs and hold the door shut until they arrived. Him and a buddy went to investigate their house, and said that once there she told them that her husband had been woken up from noises coming from downstairs. At this point though, the woman didn't tell them where the husband was. My dad was checking out the property, and said that a tall figure walked past him in a room to his left. The room had no lights on, but he just assumed that it was the husband. He called out to the person but didn't get a response, not thinking a lot of it as it was late at night when the call out was made. He continued looking through the downstairs of the house, but didn't find anything. As he walked towards his officer and the woman though, he noticed the husband walking down the stairs, and my dad said this immediately gave him chills. He quickly turned around to his partner and said that someone else was in the house, and that they were in the room behind them. As they ran in the room, no one was there. My dad was sure of what he had seen, and said he could clearly see the outline of a human walk past him. He said the figure was around 6 foot, and that it looked like it had a black robe on, noting that it reminded him of a dressing robe. Both my dad and the officer checked the house thoroughly, but didn't find anything. My dad told me that he insisted that they inspected the house several times over, as he was sure that he saw something, but each search turned up nothing. He said that the owners were shaken up even more than before, and said this isn't the first time that they've heard strange noises throughout the house. He said that nothing like this has ever happened since, and that he has no idea what it was he saw. When I've asked my dad about it in the past, he says he doesn't really like talking about it. I can tell that it affected him, as he's someone who doesn't buy into the paranormal, and he said that he spent countless hours trying to figure out what it was he saw. My dad is retired now, and has said that he can't explain what he encountered that night. I've told a few people about this encounter, and they seem to be of the opinion that my dad encountered a shadow person, saying that the details match up with other similar encounters. Another officer detailed his encounter, though this case is more sad than spooky. He said the following: "Our department had received a call from a neighbour saying that a lady lived a few doors down, and that she was practicing black magic. They said that she has ties to dark things, and that we should be careful when we go there. The original phone call was made due to a noise complaint, with the neighbours saying that they could hear her screaming and chanting in a strange language. I was the officer that was sent down there to investigate, and I've never really taken much notice of the paranormal. I wouldn't call myself a believer or a non-believer. I'm an open-minded kind of person. So I turned up at this house and it does look creepy from the outside. The lights were switched off and I could see a face behind the curtain. I knocked on the door and didn't really know what to expect. When the door opened though, this elderly woman slowly looked through the crack of the door. I explained the situation to her, and that there had been a noise complaint. She seemed confused by this and offered me in for a drink. I entered and thought that perhaps by talking to her I could get to the bottom of what was going on. We get chatting and everything seems fine. She then re-offers me a drink and goes into the kitchen to make it. Everything seems okay inside the house. It was a little run down, but looked like any household an old woman had been living in. She comes in and starts laughing, and then starts talking to someone else in the room. The problem being that it was just me and her. I asked her who she was talking to and if everything was alright. She told me that it's nothing, and that she talks to herself because her husband had passed away, and that her family doesn't visit her anymore. She said that it helps her get through the days. I definitely wasn't expecting this, and it even choked me up a little. We talked for the next hour and she seemed fine. The only thing I could make out was that she was lonely, but this was the start of an ongoing friendship, and I often went round and visited. I really enjoyed the time I spent with her, and think that she just created these people in order to make herself feel less lonely. Little did I know that when approaching her house I would learn one of the most important lessons in my life. Always reach out to family and visit, even if it's quickly. All this woman needed was someone to talk to. End quote. So what do you make of these stories? Even the most experienced officers have, on occasion, been truly baffled by the weird, or in some cases altogether disturbing things they've experienced. Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.